What if you filled a swimming pool with lava? This question comes from someone who looked at a peaceful summer afternoon at a public pool and thought, not chaotic enough. Filling a swimming pool with lava may sound like a bad idea, and that's because it is. But let's assume, for the sake of science and spectacle, that you're determined to try. First, we need lava, a lot of lava. Lava is molten rock, typically between 700 and 1200 degrees Celsius, or about 1300 to 2200 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to turn aluminum into soup and concrete into smoke. So, where do you get enough of it to fill a standard Olympic-sized pool? An Olympic swimming pool is about 50 meters long, 25 meters wide, and 2 meters deep. That's 2,500 cubic meters of volume, or 2.5 million liters. You'd need to extract over 6 million kilograms of molten rock, which means you need access to an erupting volcano, or several, preferably the kind that doesn't mind you siphoning off part of its magma chamber. Good luck with that. Let's say you somehow manage to collect enough lava and transport it without melting your truck, the road, or the driver. You now have a giant pool of liquid fire. Congratulations. What happens next? Well, it depends on the pool. Most swimming pools are made of concrete, lined with tiles or plaster. Concrete is strong, durable, and great at holding water. It is not, however, designed to hold a lake of magma. The moment lava touches concrete, things go poorly. Concrete contains moisture, even if it feels dry. When lava meets that moisture, it flashes into steam instantly. The sudden expansion of water into gas creates a violent reaction. Think miniature explosions, popping chunks of concrete into the air like mortar shells. You don't get a nice, even heating of the pool. You get a series of concussive blasts, shrapnel, and a lot of very angry melting cement. Assuming the structure doesn't outright collapse, the tiles will start cracking. The plaster bubbles. The rebar embedded in the walls begins to glow red hot, then orange. At this point, your pool is less of a container and more of a sacrificial offering to geology. But let's pretend the pool survives, reinforced with magical heat-proof materials, or perhaps forged by dwarves beneath a mountain. The lava, now happily contained, sits there glowing, bubbling, and waiting for something to happen. And something will happen, because lava doesn't just sit there. Lava interacts with its environment. The first thing it interacts with is air. Molten lava cools when exposed to atmosphere. A thin crust forms on the surface, dark, cracked, and brittle. It insulates the lava below, keeping it hot for longer. But if you disturb that crust, say by throwing something into it or getting too close, you'll release a burst of heat and potentially a splash of lava. This isn't a jacuzzi. This is a geological murder bath. And while we're on the subject, no, you can't swim in it.
Nope.
You can't float on lava. You can't dip your toe in it just to see. If you fall in, your body won't slowly sink like in the movies. You'll combust before you make contact. The radiant heat alone is enough to sear flesh from bone. And if you somehow survive that, perhaps with a high-tech heat suit and a severe disregard for safety, you'd still land on a crust which might or might not break. If it does, you drop into molten rock. If it doesn't, you roll across the surface like a very confused baked potato. Either way, don't try this. Now, let's imagine people start gathering around your lava pool. Social media influencers show up. They want to throw things in for content. What happens when you throw a watermelon into lava? What about a can of soda? A frozen turkey? What happens is dangerous physics. When cold objects hit lava, they cause a thermal shock. The sudden temperature difference can cause explosive fragmentation. The object doesn't just burn, it shatters, sprays, and sometimes explodes. Especially if it's sealed like a soda can. That's not a lava bath anymore. That's an unpredictable shrapnel volcano right in your backyard. But wait, it gets better. Lava emits gases, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other nasty things. These gases aren't just stinky, they're toxic. Long exposure can cause respiratory problems, acid rain, and a general sense of, why did we fill this pool with lava? Over time, your lava will cool and harden. It forms volcanic rock, basalt mostly. If it cools slowly, it's dense and hard. If it cools rapidly, it might form volcanic glass, obsidian. Your pool becomes a geological time capsule, a hardened, cracked black mass that used to be a beautiful, temperature-controlled oasis. But maybe you don't wait. Maybe, before it cools, you try to drain it. Lava doesn't flow like water. It's viscous, sticky, and heavy. Trying to drain lava through a pipe would be like asking molasses to sprint uphill. Pipes would clog, melt, or explode. Your only hope is to wait, and even then, you're left with a massive amount of solidified rock. You can't scoop it out with a shovel. You need jackhammers, explosives, and possibly a mining permit. All of this leads to a very important question. Why? Why did you fill a pool with lava? Maybe it was an art project. Maybe it was a science experiment. Maybe you were just curious what would happen. But now you've destroyed the pool, ruined the landscaping, evacuated the neighborhood, and possibly created a localized air pollution event. Also, your insurance claim is going to be interesting. Yes, hello. I'd like to report damage to my pool. What caused the damage? Molten rock. Did it come from a volcano? No, I put it there. We're going to need to escalate this. But there is a silver lining. You now have the most unique backyard feature on Earth. Not everyone can say they turned a suburban pool into an active lava flow. Geologists will want to visit. Tourists might line up. Lava-themed parties could become a thing. Just don't let anyone bring marshmallows, or stand too close, or breathe too deeply. Actually, better cancel the party. In conclusion, filling a swimming pool with lava is theoretically possible, logistically absurd, and practically catastrophic. It's expensive, dangerous, destructive, and leaves behind a permanent reminder that curiosity, while noble, sometimes comes with consequences measured in tons of volcanic rock. So, maybe next time you want a cool backyard experiment, just buy some glow-in-the-dark pool lights. Much safer, much cheaper, far fewer emergency evacuations, but not nearly as exciting.